Hello, so this is going to be a quick PSA about birth control and how it can completely change what you're attracted to, who you like, how you feel about things, just like everything about you, because that's what I experienced. So I wish somebody had told me that this could happen because this was very unknown to me. So I've been on birth control since I was like 14 or 15 because I was always hemorrhaging. I had like really horrible periods. And birth control was the only thing that helped it. So I'm 27 now, so that was like 13 years, 13 years ago that I was on birth control, which is insane when you think about it because it's my entire adult life. And I can honestly say since I've been off of it, I know now who I am and I understand myself better and I feel more comfortable with myself. It's weird. I don't know how to explain it. My whole adult life I've struggled with anxiety and depression and all of that jazz. Turns out I did have a thyroid condition, so a lot of that was attributed to that. And there was a very low point in 2018 that I was like super depressed. And I hadn't dated in like 3 years because my previous boyfriend got arrested, cheated on me, was emotionally abusive, and I was kind of scared of men for a really long time. So when I was super depressed in 2018, everybody was like, you should just start dating again. Like maybe that'll just help you, you know, be a little bit happier, you'll get out more, you'll meet new people, you'll be more social, because I just like wouldn't leave my apartment. And I wasn't one for dating apps or anything like that, so I had recently started rock climbing at the time to force myself to get out of the house because I was in such a depression. And my friends were like, you need to meet someone, just ask someone on a date. So I was like, okay, let me just, like, what do I have to lose? So I go to the climbing gym one day and I see somebody. I literally looked around the room and I was like, let me pick somebody that I've talked to already that seems nice, probably wouldn't be a serial killer, and just ask them for their phone number. So that's what I did. And I literally went up to this one guy. I was like, hey, I'm looking to make a group of people to go outdoor climbing with. If you would like to come, you can give me your phone number. You don't look like a serial killer. I'm pretty sure I actually said that to him. So, you know, if you want to join us, let me know. And he gave me his phone number, completely oblivious to the fact that I was like just trying to get him to go on a date with me. We started dating and it was pretty great. Like, it definitely helped my depression because I was distracted from it. He was very different than me. Like, we were completely different people. I'm very, like, all over the place, unorganized. I'm a creative, so, like, I'm a mess all the time. And he is an academic. He has his PhD. He runs on schedules and he's really organized, which is, like, what I needed in my life because I was so messed up, I guess. I was just excited that I had met somebody who was genuinely nice, that didn't seem like they were going to destroy my heart. And he didn't want kids, which is a huge thing to me because I am not interested in having children of my own. So we had our differences. We were very different people, but we worked together to try to make this work. And I would say we had a pretty good relationship. Like, it was not perfect by any means. There were a lot of times where we would argue and fight about things, but we were never like really bad to each other. And that to me was amazing because my previous relationship was so horrible with like, the cheating, the lying, the getting arrested. You know, it was just really refreshing to meet somebody like this. I think like 8 months into it, we actually moved in together. And we were talking about marriage and stuff, and I was like telling my mom, I was like, okay, like, he's not perfect, but he's really great. He's a really nice person. So, like, this is probably it, just so you know. And she was so excited. She's like, he's got a PhD. And I was like, that means absolutely nothing. But so our entire relationship was about a year and a half. Not even, no, it was like a year and maybe like 2 or 3 months. And so I had still been dealing with quite a bit because, you know, my thyroid was still messed up. I was like on different levels of medication all the time. So I was still in this depression. I was, you know, still trying to get out of it, but he was like really, really trying to like, you know, push me to make me feel better. He encouraged me to take a job that I definitely didn't want to take because it was not the right company for me. And I took this all as support, but now that I think about it now, like he was definitely trying to change me. He wanted me to be more like him, where he's like on a schedule, he's on time all the time, he's, you know, organized. And I think he really wanted that for me because he thought that that's what would make me feel better. But I figured that that's just how relationships go. Like you sacrifice to make things work. And like we were really trying to make things work. So my medication wasn't really working. And I had been on birth control for so long. And I was like, maybe the hormones are affecting my medication. So I really just wanted to stop birth control and see if that would help. So I decided to go off of birth control and just like cold turkey, cut it out of my life. And within a week, I could not stand my boyfriend. And this sounds so horrible, but it was like a switch just flipped in my brain, and everything that I thought I liked about him, I hated. I wasn't attracted to anything about, not him just physically, but like who he was. Like I couldn't stand that he was an academic. I couldn't stand that he was on a schedule. Like everything really bothered me. And it just blew my mind how much I could change in a week. And I was like, oh, well, maybe my hormones just need to balance out. But no, like that's who I am. Like I'm not attracted to that. And birth control made me attracted to that because it raises your estrogen levels rather than your testosterone. And like I generally just have higher testosterone levels, which make you more attracted to more like masculine, muscly people, I guess. And he was quite the opposite of that. So it was like overnight, I woke up, I was like, who am I sleeping next to? And I felt really horrible about it because that was not fair to him at all whatsoever. And he's like a genuinely great guy. Like he's, you know, killing it for himself. He deserves so much more than what I put him through. But it wasn't me anymore. I didn't feel like me. And I didn't feel like I knew who I was because I just felt like a completely different person. But other than it destroying my relationship, going off birth control made me so happy. I stopped having brain fog, which I didn't even realize I had. I wasn't depressed anymore. I didn't feel like I had this rainy cloud above me. I felt more creative and motivated and inspired, and I wanted to like leave the house more often. It was just like a complete 180. And unfortunately, it really affected my relationship because obviously I didn't want to be with him anymore. Aside from not being into him anymore, I also had a small crush on one of our other friends the entire time we were in a relationship, which I completely suppressed because I was comfortable being in the relationship I was in. But as soon as like that switch flipped, I was like, no, like I'm really attracted to this other guy and I'm really unhappy in my relationship. So, but what I'm trying to say is that it's really important, especially if you've been on birth control for so long that you haven't known your partner off of birth control and you plan on getting married, please go off birth control before you get married. Because now, like after doing research, there are so many women who have been in birth control the whole time they've been with their current partners. They get married and then they go off birth control to have babies and they can't stand their partner. It like really changes what you're attracted to. It changed so much about me, like what turns me on, what like makes me like happy, like what I think is romantic, what I think is like annoying, what bothers me, like everything. It changed so much about me. And at 27, I can finally say I'm comfortable and I'm confident and I know who I am now. And I have never had that feeling before. So while I don't regret being on birth control because I definitely needed it, and a lot of women do need it, there are so many other options now, even like hormone-free IUDs. Just like there's just so many things you can do instead of birth control. And if you don't need to be on it, if you feel like you're not your best self, then maybe try going off of it and just see how you feel for a little while. It did make my face break out horribly and I had some like weight issues afterwards, but after your hormones start to balance out, then you'll feel better than ever, unless you have like PCOS and you're getting like cysts on your ovaries and you're dying of pain. But if you have the option to go off of birth control, I really recommend you try it, because there's just so many of my friends that have said they feel like a different person and they feel like they don't have a cloud over their head. They don't feel like they're mind controlled anymore, because that's actually how I felt. So I just wanted to share that with you because I think it's really important, and I think all women should have the correct knowledge to do what they choose, and I hope this helps even just one person. So thanks for listening to me ramble. Okay, see you, bye.